Good morning, everyone,
Good morning.
and welcome to Coffee and Donuts with John the Seminarian and Father Wickard. This is episode one, although also sadly the last episode for John.
First and last.
Yeah, so uh, both John and I realized this morning I had planned on coming in and telling you this morning that the reason why we have coffee and not donuts is because I ate my donut last night. I couldn't wait, so I ate my donut last night. And then John and I were talking about that this morning, and he said,
I also ate my donut last night, unbeknownst to Father Wickard. I couldn't wait.
so, so we couldn't stop from eating our donuts. It's we're done with Exodus 90, and we don't feel that same pressure of not eating our donuts. My phone is also not loading. I'm trying to um, get onto the app so that I can see everything going live, and my phone is not cooperating. So I don't know if John's is or not. So we're trying to see your questions or your comments, and then read those out loud. That's sort of the goal. So if you guys want to type in something, if you're out there watching.
Wow, there's a lot of people
jumping
on there. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's great.
So I might use your phone because mine's still
Sure.
not responding to anything.
Here we go.
Maybe I could try and I have the Wi-Fi turned off, so maybe that's one of the problems. Yeah. Okay. So Bill Nash, Saul. Oh wow, there's a lot of comments already on there. Okay. Let's see if my phone will load. Oh, and then I can give this back to you. Look at that. There you go.
It's working?
Yeah, working. This is kind of fun. I just feel like we're just being ourselves, kind of,
Yeah,
talking and working our way through things. Yeah, it's very casual. And we're drinking coffee also, which I know that there have been a lot of shout outs recently, so I'm going to give a shout out actually to Reese. Because she invited me to play in a volleyball tournament with her, and we won that tournament. We had it was a 6-person indoor team, which I don't play indoor very much, but I won this mug right here, so that's why I'm drinking out of this one, and John's drinking out of that one. Although Reese, I broke it this morning, so I need a new lid.
It's not the only thing that broke this morning.
What else broke this morning?
The
thermal. Yeah. So, oh man. In the beginning of the Spanish Mass this morning, just as John went to lift the lid of the the thurible chain snapped actually, so that it actually broke. Usually it just comes undone, but this morning it actually broke.
It broke.
Yeah, so we're going to have to do a little fix job there. But it'll be fun nonetheless. So, I don't know. I don't know if we're very live with these comments. Oh, I gotta mute this. I can hear myself talking. That's not fun. Nice Tumblr. Okay, so I'm looking for questions. So if I see a question mark, then that means that I'll respond to it. Oh, there we go. What kind of training will join? Oh, John, I think not join, but John. What kind of training will John go through as a hospital pastor? So it's a chaplain in a hospital. And sometimes people get confused. In fact, when we were coming in here, someone called you Padre also, right? They called you Father. But he's not a priest yet, so he's still a seminarian, which is why we call him John the
Seminarian.
That's right. But what will you be doing when you're in the hospital? Do you know much about it, John? Or?
Well, I know a little preliminary information. It's called a clinical pastoral education.
Okay.
So I'll be receiving an education in clinical pastoring, basically.
Very good.
And so pastor is kind of an adjective in this sense, right? Not a proper noun.
Right.
Which Father Wickard is the pastor of St. Brendan.
St. Brendan, yeah.
And so that's a different use of the form pastor.
Yeah.
So I'll be learning how to pastor or be available to minister to people in a hospital setting, people who are undergoing difficult times, and to learn how to be present, to hone my listening skills, and be available to those people in need. And so it will consist of hours of being on call as a volunteer chaplain or minister for those in need, It'll involve some class time and a lot of reading. And then I'm part of a certain cohort, a small group. There are about 6 or 7 of us undergoing this session at the same time together.
Okay.
And so we'll all meet together to collaborate and share our experiences. And each week we have to do a kind of write up on our experience to share with the group.
They call those verbatims. We had a different name for them when I was in the seminary, but I won't share that online. Yeah, so it's all of us go through that as priests. During our seminary formation, we go through this hospital chaplaincy, or what we call CPE, again, clinical pastoral education. Colleen Walsh just asked, where are your donuts? We ate them last night, both of us.
We couldn't wait.
So yeah, we ate the donuts.
It wasn't planned that way. We both just happened to do so.
Yeah, and Dale said, of course, Dale's always the regular comedian on here, and he said he's always wanted to write a Dear John letter. So
now it's your chance.
His opportunity
Brother
to
Dale.
do that. Yeah, Brother Dale. And Pat Walsh asks, will Victoria still make guest appearances for choir? Yes, the answer is yes, from time to time, I suppose. And she's agreed to help out too when Mary wants to, she needs to get away, or she has to do something, or wants to have a weekend off or something. So, but we offered her during this time time that if she wanted to come back also. So we're sadly missing her also. Oh yeah, we'll be sharing the video on YouTube as well, so it won't be just on here. Reese, actually, hey Reese, hello. So what would you say you learned? So Reese, I just gave a shout out to you earlier if you're just getting on about our winnings right here from volleyball. But she asks, what would you say you learned here at St. Brendan that you will take with you in this new role, or maybe in the seminary life or into the future in general?
Sure, that's a good question, Reese.
Put him on the spot.
I think one of the primary lessons that I learned is that in the priesthood and ministry in general, there are a lot of things that need to be done. It's kind of endless, really, how much can be done. But thankfully, I've learned a little bit, at least, started to scratch the surface and learning from Father Wickard, the difference between doing things and being available to Christ, and being available to people. And so bringing Christ to people in that sense. So this difference between being and doing is I think, really important. And knowing when to kind of be able to set aside all the things that need to be done in order to be available.
And John's really good at that, actually, seeing that time and again with him interacting with all of you, in particular in the parish, and outside for that matter too, with his family and friends also. So, but he's a hard worker for sure. He's laughing. I'd give him a little bit of a hard time. But everything's new for him too, right? In many ways, right? I mean, yes. So the classes, you guys have no idea. Those classes that he put on YouTube, every one of you should watch those classes, because he poured hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and then some more hours into preparing those classes just for you guys. So really, I think it'd be good for you guys to take the time to watch those classes on YouTube that he's done. It's been
I learned a lot in the process.
Yeah. And like I said to him, he'll have those throughout his entire life, right? I mean, I still am using things that I did when I was in the seminary also. And of course, I fine-tune them and hone them in. But it's a huge help. I see question marks here. Have you or any others been watching season 1 of The Chosen online? I haven't. In fact, I've told John the last couple of days that I was going to watch a movie on the TV, and I have not done it. So I was thinking about doing it Friday night, and I didn't. And then I was thinking about doing it last night, and I ended up not again. So I have not, but I've heard great things about The Chosen. I don't know.
I've heard a lot of great things, but I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. In fact, actually, speaking of watching things, Leon Garcia had a really good idea. He has lots of good ideas, by the way, but he had a good idea about maybe watching some kind of either educational thing, and he had one in particular that he was thinking of from the Formed program, that we could watch it maybe together, or, and I haven't checked yet with Formed to see if there are copyright laws with this or not, but I was thinking of doing like a Facebook Live thing where we watch it together on Facebook if we can with copyrights, and then we could have a discussion after watching something like that. So I haven't seen The Chosen, but that might be one option, is for us to maybe watch the series of The Chosen, or it's one of the series. Look at this! Somebody brought donuts.
Oh my goodness!
Thanks,
it's getting
Bill.
more real.
That's
here.
hilarious. What is the? Where are they from? Even
Well, from
I don't
countryside.
know.
Oh
Wow,
my
thank
gosh.
Take your
you,
pick.
Bill.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. Okay, stop
you.
laughing.
Thanks. Wow. Look at that.
Oh,
Oh, it's
okay,
even
we
got
know
an
where the
apple fritter.
goes.
An
That's
apple-
right.
We can split it though. Those are huge donuts.
That's okay.
Which, yeah, all right. Yeah. I was thinking of sneezing on one of these, but then I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to John. So now I can put my donut. See, here's a fun fact for you, by the way. I have to share this with you because it's just tickling my funny bone, and I want you guys to laugh also. So I'm a big fan of NCIS. I don't know if any of you have watched NCIS with Gibbs, right? The altar servers know who Gibbs is because I always talk to them about the Gibbs slap in the back of the head. But I don't do that very often. But don't do that. Anyways, the coffee. Gibbs is always drinking coffee in the beginning of the show, and then later on, everybody starts drinking coffee. But the trick is that the coffee's actually empty. So there's not actually any coffee in here either. So the coffee's empty. So you can always see them take a drink. And they even have the little throat movement, like they're pretending to swallow.
I haven't been doing that.
Yeah. So now the people who have watched this series from the get-go know that that's the case, but nobody else. Okay. Do we have other questions here? Let's see. There's God bless you comments for sure. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Tom. Hello, Juanita. Hello, Cynthia. It's all kinds of people. This is fun. Will John have an email with which we can keep in touch when he goes? That's what Irene asked.
Yes, I was thinking about that. What I'll do is I will post it on Facebook on one of the string of comments, probably a message that I'll leave with regard to the adult education classes. And that way, if anybody has any further questions upon viewing those in the future, you can always email me. And so I'll leave my seminary email address for you to contact me at.
I want you to keep talking so I can take a bite
All
of
right.
my donut.
Good donuts, definitely.
No.
So I look forward to corresponding
you're
with
making
you
a
in the
mess.
future. Definitely, please reach out. Let me know how you're doing. Let's stay in touch. Only a year to go, hopefully, God willing, before I'm ordained as a transitional deacon. And so I want to stay in touch with you all. And like I said, if you have any questions on any of the classes, I'd love to correspond with you on that as well.
Very good. Well, John, we're certainly going to miss you. I said this after the mass yesterday morning, and you were back getting I think the thurible that was not broken at that time. And then this morning I said it again, but you've really risen to the occasion, especially in the midst of the virus thing, and I've appreciated you. I said this last night, and you've been really my right hand in many ways, so I'm going to miss having you around.
Thank you, Father Wickard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that the whole culture that we have with the pandemic, and right now it makes it a little more difficult for, this is why this is wonderful to be able to have coffee and donuts with everyone together, because it makes closure a little more challenging.
Yeah.
I realized that this last week that I kind of had a heaviness that was weighing on me, and it's been a little more challenging to prepare to move forward than it normally would be.
Yeah. And we kind of knew this last minute also, right?
Right.
So we thought that John might end up staying here through the summer because we didn't know that Harborview would continue with their program. They were kind of waffling, and then we kind of had some back and forth with the Archdiocese too about whether or not that was going to be a go or not. And so then we thought we were making a decision, and then Harborview stepped back in and said we're going to try and get it approved. So everything kind of happened at the last minute
Right.
too, and so yeah, we wish that we would have had more time to plan something also. But glad to be able to give people an opportunity, at least in this way, for right now, to say goodbye to. Yeah. So Is that what that's called? Is that what this is called? Is a tumbler? Some,
Yeah, I think it
I
is.
don't know. Okay. Well, I don't know how many more questions are out there, but I do know that I got to get into the church because there are people coming in, right? So, yeah, maybe let's take one last question. Let's see if there's one last question in here that we have not answered yet. Lots of you'll be greatly missed, John. So lots of comments about you being missed. When can we go back to Mass again? Oh, boy, Priscilla, that's a good question. I don't know. So I know that the diocese has had the stages of the governor broken out in 3-week chunks that where we were hopeful, right, that May 26th we'd be starting stage 2, and then stage 3 is when the archdiocese thinks we'll be able to get back to Mass. They're hoping maybe even the governor will release us before that in some way, but we won't be released to come back to Mass until we can come and do it in the church, it sounds like, and it'll be probably 50 people at a time. So it's tough, and they've also said that I don't know if this is finalized yet or not, but at least initially they said that we could celebrate an extra evening vigil mass, so there would be 2 vigil masses then. They left this up to the discretion of the priest, but I'm going to do that because I think I need to serve you guys in the best way that I can without killing myself in the long run either. But so 2 masses for a vigil mass, then 3 masses on Sunday that will be at the normal times. And we'll figure those things out and let you know, and we'll get you sign-up sheets and all of those things too. And in the beginning, we'll probably ask people just to make sure that you don't sign up for more than one mass every 3 weeks or so, because we have 50 people times 5, then it's 250 people. We have a lot more people than that in the parish. I don't know how many people will actually feel comfortable coming to Mass, right? I mean, we're going to do everything that we can to be purifying and cleaning things constantly, but we want to encourage people who are vulnerable also to stay home, because then you're just exposing yourself to more potential, right, to have this disease. So we want to protect people from that. But that's a good question. Yeah. Okay. So with that, I guess we'll sign off for our first episode.
Before we go, I'd like to just once again thank you, Father Wickard, really from the bottom of my heart, for the time, the effort, the heartfelt mentorship that you've given me. So I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank our staff and all of our volunteers who I've had the privilege of working with and learning from, and really all of you who I've really enjoyed meeting, whether it was in the first couple weeks or even trickling into the church from week to week and having conversations together, and for all of your prayers and support. So thank you so much. Know that you remain in my prayers and in my heart, and I ask you to continue to pray for me until we have the chance to be together again.
Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah. I think I should re-echo that thank you also to our volunteers and office staff, our staff in general, and the school as well, and all of them. You guys have no idea all the things that are going on behind the scenes and the ways that they're working from home too, and it's pretty incredible to see, and the commitment that's there and the faithfulness that's there has been inspiring for us also, and of course the work that John's been doing. I'm very grateful for that as well, and a lot of these things couldn't have done it without him, so thank you again, John.
It's been a privilege.
Yeah. All right, God bless you guys. Take
Bye
care.
for now.
I'll see you next Sunday, and he'll hopefully come back sometime during the summer, and we'll maybe do another episode just for fun.
Like somebody once said, I'll be back.
I don't know who that was. Just kidding. Are we still live? We're done.